Nike, Inc., stylized as Nike, is an American athletic footwear and apparel corporation. Headquartered near Beaverton, Oregon, it is the world's largest supplier of athletic shoes and apparel, and a major manufacturer of sports equipment. With revenue in excess of $46 billion in its fiscal year 2022. The company was founded on January 25, 1964, as Blue Ribbon Sports, by Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight, and officially became Nike, Inc. on May 30, 1971. The company takes its name from Nike, the Greek goddess of victory. Nike markets its products under its own brand, as well as Nike Golf, Nike Pro, Nike Plus, Nike Blazers, Air Force One, Nike Dunk, Air Max, Foamposite, Nike Skateboarding, and Nike CR7. The company also sells products under its Air Jordan brand and its Converse subsidiary. Nike also owned Bauer Hockey from 1995 to 2008, and previously owned Cole Haan, Umbro, and Hurley International. In addition to manufacturing sportswear and equipment, the company operates retail stores under the Niketown name. Nike sponsors many high-profile athletes and sports teams around the world, with the highly recognized trademarks of Just Do It and the swoosh logo. As of 2024, it employed 83,700 people worldwide. In 2020, the brand alone was valued in excess of $32 billion, making it the most valuable brand among sports businesses. Previously, in 2017, the Nike brand was valued at $29.6 billion. Nike ranked 89th in the 2018 Fortune 500 list of the largest United States corporations by total revenue. The company ranked 239th in the Forbes Global 2000 companies in 2024. Nike, originally known as Blue Ribbon Sports (BRS), was founded by University of Oregon track athlete Phil Knight and his coach, Bill Bowerman, on January 25, 1964. The company initially operated in Eugene, Oregon as a distributor for Japanese shoemaker Onitsuka Tiger, making most sales at track meets out of Knight's automobile. According to Otis Davis, a University of Oregon student-athlete coached by Bowerman and Olympic gold medalist at the 1960 Summer Olympics, his coach made the first pair of Nike shoes for him, contradicting a claim that they were made for Phil Knight. According to Davis, "I told Tom Brokaw that I was the first. I don't care what all the billionaires say. Bill Bowerman made the first pair of shoes for me. People don't believe me. In fact, I didn't like the way they felt on my feet. There was no support and they were too tight. But I saw Bowerman made them from the waffle iron, and they were mine." In its first year in business, BRS sold 1,300 pairs of Japanese running shoes, grossing $8.00 by 1965. Sales had reached $20,000. In 1966, BRS opened its first retail store at 3107 Pico Boulevard in Santa Monica, California. In 1967, due to increasing sales, BRS expanded retail and distribution operations on the East Coast, in Wellesley, Massachusetts. In 1971, Bowerman used his wife's waffle iron to experiment on rubber to create a new sole for track shoes that would grip but be lightweight and increase the runner's speed. Oregon's Hayward Field was transitioning to an artificial surface, and Bowerman wanted a sole which could grip to grass or bark dust without the use of spikes. Bowerman was talking to his wife about this puzzle over breakfast when the waffle iron idea came into play. Bowerman's design led to the introduction of the moon shoe in 1972, so named because the waffle tread was said to resemble the footprints left by astronauts on the moon. Further refinement resulted in the waffle trainer in 1974, which helped fuel the explosive growth of Blue Ribbon Sports and Nike. Tension between BRS and Onitsuka Tiger increased in 1971 as the latter attempted a takeover of BRS by extending an ultimatum proposal that would give the Japanese company 51% of BRS. In 1972, the relationship between BRS and Onitsuka Tiger came to an end. BRS prepared to launch its own line of footwear. The previous year, it was already able to place from to Japanese shoe manufacturers the company's first independent order for 20,000, which included 6,000 that had the Nike logo. Runner Jeff Johnson was brought in to help market the new brand and was credited for coining the name Nike. It would bear the swoosh, newly designed by Carolyn Davidson. The swoosh was first used by Nike on June 18, 1971, and was registered with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office on January 22, 1974. In 1976, the company hired John Brown and Partners, based in Seattle, as its first advertising agency. The following year, the agency created the first brand ad for Nike, called There Is No Finish Line, in which no Nike product was shown. By 1980, Nike had attained a 50% market share in the U.S. athletic shoe market, and the company went public in December of that year. Wheaton Plus Kennedy, Nike's primary ad agency, has worked with Nike to create many print and television advertisements, and Wheaton Plus Kennedy remains Nike's primary ad agency. It was agency co-founder Dan Wheaton who coined the now famous slogan, "Just Do It," for a 1988 Nike ad campaign, which was chosen by Advertising Age as one of the top 5 ad slogans of the 20th century and enshrined in the Smithsonian Institution. Walt Stack was featured in Nike's first Just Do It advertisement, which debuted on July 1, 1988. Wheaton credits the inspiration for the slogan to "Let's Do It," the last words spoken by Gary Gilmore before he was executed. Nike manufactured its first uniforms for a professional sports team in 1979, when its jersey for the Portland Timbers of the North American Soccer League debuted. Throughout the 1980s, Nike expanded its product line to encompass many sports and regions throughout the world. In 1990, Nike moved into its 8-building world headquarters campus in Beaverton, Oregon. The first Nike retail store, dubbed Niketown, opened in downtown Portland in November of that year. Phil Knight announced in mid-2015 that he would step down as chairman of Nike in 2016. He officially stepped down from all duties with the company on June 30, 2016. In a company public announcement on March 15, 2018, Nike CEO Mark Parker said Trevor Edwards, a top Nike executive who was seen as a potential successor to the chief executive, was relinquishing his position as Nike's brand president and would retire in August. In October 2019, John Donahoe was announced as the next CEO and succeeded Parker on January 13, 2020. In November 2019, the company stopped selling directly through Amazon, focusing more on direct relationships with customers. Nike has acquired and sold several apparel and footwear companies over the course of its history. Its first acquisition was the upscale footwear company Cole Haan in 1988, followed by the purchase of Bauer Hockey in 1994. In 2002, Nike bought surf apparel company Hurley International from founder Bob Hurley. In 2003, Nike paid $309 million United States to acquire sneaker company Converse. The company acquired Starter in 2004 and soccer uniform maker Umbro in 2007. In order to refocus its business lines, Nike began divesting itself of some of its subsidiaries in the 2000s. It sold Starter in 2007 and Bauer Hockey in 2008. The company sold Umbro in 2012 and Cole Haan in 2013. As of 2020, Nike owns only one subsidiary, Converse Inc. Nike acquired Zodiac, a consumer data analytics company, in March 2018. In August 2019, the company acquired Select, a Boston-based predictive analytics company. In December 2021, Nike purchased RTFKT Studios, a virtual shoe company that makes NFTs. In February 2021, Nike acquired Datalog, a New York-based company, focused on digital sales and machine learning technology. Nike was made a member of the Dow Jones Industrial Average in 2013, when it replaced Alcoa. On December 19, 2013, Nike's quarterly profit rose due to a 13% increase in global orders for merchandise. Since April of that year, future orders of shoes or clothes for delivery between December and April rose to $10.4 billion. Nike shares in KE rose 0.6% to $78.75 in extended trading. In November 2015, Nike announced it would initiate a $12 billion share buyback, as well as a 2-for-1 stock split, with shares to begin trading at the decreased price on December 24. The split will be the 7th in company history. In June 2018, Nike announced it would initiate a $15 billion share buyback over 4 years, to begin in 2019 upon completion of the previous buyback program. For the fiscal year 2018, Nike reported earnings of $1.933 billion United States dollars, with annual revenue of $36.397 billion United States dollars, an increase of 6.0% over the previous fiscal cycle. Nike's shares traded at over $72 per share, and its market capitalization was valued at over $114.5 billion. In October 2018, in February 2020, the company said that roughly 75% of Nike stores in Greater China had closed due to the COVID-19 outbreak. In March 2020, Nike reported a 5% drop in Chinese sales associated with stores closure. It was the first decrease in 6 years. At the same time, the company's online sales grew by 36% during Q1 of 2020. Also, the sales of personal training apps grew by 80% in China. Nike is not owned by a single individual. It is a publicly traded company, meaning its ownership is distributed among many investors. The company is owned by shareholders, with the majority being institutional investors. Phil Knight, the co-founder of Nike, remains a significant shareholder and serves as chairman emeritus.